So Rocky is back at it with part 9, JoJoLands. Hawaiian JoJo is where we're at. Japan always seems to love Hawaii for some reason, and so we get introduced to the two new JoJos of this part. We have Jodio and Dragona. Jodio being kind of the protagonist that looks like a 15-year-old, and Dragona being his older brother. It is interesting and cool to have just a character that is kind of fluid. And the cool thing about Dragona's design is that, you know, we have finally like a darker skinned JoJo. I thought initially it was supposed to be more like Hawaiian influence, but I think they're originally from New Jersey, so I'm not even sure if they're like, it doesn't seem like they're native Hawaiian or anything, Pacific Islander vibes, but hey. So the chapter starts off with a kind of view of the setting, right? Setting up that, hey, this is Hawaii, this is what it looks like in modern day. We have Jodio and Dragona driving to finish up their smuggling job, right? When they got stopped by corrupt cops, it gives them a opportunity to kind of show off their stands. So it looks like Dragona has some kind of tiny stand, something like Mista's, right? Where they get to rearrange objects. A lot of opportunity for that to be creative. Maybe not something overpowered in terms of like a physical sense, but something pretty strong from more of a creative and like tactic sense. Then we get Jodio's stand, which is some kind of like spider-like machine stand remote thing. Its power seems to be like it has some liquid that comes out of it that shoots gravity down or has any gravitational push down or melting or something. It's a little unclear, but it's a unique looking stand because it's not just a humanoid stand like every other JoJo. It's something completely different. So it's fun to have the protagonist have something completely different where the sibling has kind of the more tactical kind of unique rearrange stand, and he uses it at one point just to rearrange one of the cops' eyes and move it to like the back of their head and confuse them with a gunshot. So yeah, interesting stands in general, right? Where I want to see more of both, see what the powers are, but you know, as a little tease, it kind of works. But after that introduction, right, then we get into kind of the heart of where the story is going, where you see them go to school, they have like a little smuggling ring, and you kind of get the introduction of like, yo, we broke and we want to make it rich. So that's the premise, right? And we kind of get a slight introduction to the themes where they talk a lot about the environment that they're stuck in and how they're all part of this system and the mechanism and how it all flows and where the money goes and where the life goes and how some people just have it bad, and that's just part of the reality of the situation, right? Like things are not exactly fair, and everyone has a different situation. So already kind of introducing a little bit of like what the theme of the whole part is going to be about, and then we get introduced to what the whole, I guess, storyline is, or what the major first arc of the storyline is going to be, which is Jodio and Dragona are hired by their principal, who's a front for a smuggling ring, and they're gonna go steal this super expensive diamond that just came in from some businessman in Japan who probably has a stand, most likely, and a few buddies with those stands. And with that principal, you kind of know that principal is going to be, you know, maybe a final villain or something of the arc. Just has that look to her. Where we get introduced to the Joe Bros of this series with basically Terry from King of Fighters and Tingle from The Legend of Zelda. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We just kind of get an introduction to the setting and the characters and a little bit of their powers. And yeah, I mean, it seems like it's going to be a straightforward kind of storyline, but we have a unique setting. It's in modern day. The powers already look interesting. We have two JoJo like main characters, and yeah, I'm all about it. There is a little bit of like hello fellow kids kind of vibes in the first chapter where they're like, yo bro, we're listening to Dua Lipa and some other stuff I forget, but you know, it still has its bizarreness, its weirdness, and it looks like it's gonna be good fun. And honestly, I'm kind of hyped for it to be in modern day in Hawaii and just have like this a really unique setting. And yeah, I don't know, seems good. It's one chapter, what can you say? Stay tuned for more anime, JoJo, manga stuffs, and yeah, appreciate it. Have a good day. To be continued.